Hello, everybody, my fellow travelers. This is Grace with Grace on a Journey Channelings. We are destined for greatness. Welcome to the newcomer. To those of you returning, welcome back. And to all those who come in good intention, your presence is valued, appreciated, and you are loved. So, for today, the title we decided to go with is Divination Workers, Committing the Crime for Your Dime. Divination workers, committing the crimes for your dime. Now, I was inspired to title this episode with what we just shared, because there is a lot of practices that are not receiving the exposure necessary due to unethical practices. And although it is not on my schedule to identify each practice where it relates to, are they engaging with their clients in an ethical manner, or are they scammers? Are they scammers? That's not my goal. That's not what I have time for. And that's irrelevant, to be honest with you. I'm just sharing the downloads that I received and being the messenger that I was called to be. Now, if for some reason your toes get stubbed and you don't approve of these messages, as a gentle reminder, you don't have to listen to this. In fact, you don't even have to come back. Okay? Because the services I bring to the community are for those who are open to it. I'm not here to change you, convince you, or to guide you into any walk that is not yours, that you didn't decide for yourself, that doesn't work for you. This is not what we're going to do. In fact, I am very disappointed with those that choose to be bullies in any spiritual community. Whether it just be, high vibrational spirituality, low vibrational spirituality, religious, whatever it is, you should have your choice. You should have a God of your understanding. You should have the right to connection. And so if I do push anything, it's your free will. It's time for you to think for yourself, to evaluate for yourself, and to embrace what works for yourself. Now, in order to achieve that, you will have to get to know yourself. That would require for you to start detaching from all those things, all those people, all those places that get you off course. You know, influence you to get into things that you don't want to be participating in. Lying to yourself and telling yourself you don't know what to do, you don't know from where to begin, you don't know from where to start, is just that. It's lying to yourself. Because you do know. All the answers that you need to know are inside of you. But sometimes we need gentle reminders. And this is why I was called to share this talk relating to spiritual practitioners that are off the mark, that are self-appointed, that are thirsty for income. This causes them to be easily manipulated and easily led astray, because there are times they know what they're doing is unethical. Okay? I said there are times they know what they're doing is unethical. And the only reason I made that comment is to be fair, because I know sometimes a client or a customer, however you choose to regard them, come to you with lies. They claim to have someone else's identity. They claim a name that doesn't belong to them, or a status that doesn't belong to them. I am the Empress. I am the privileged lady. She is, the page. Whatever they come with. And those of you that are new to this or are learning are now being given an opportunity to sort of sharpen your tools. Knowing when you engage with the public in the future, number one, clearance work should be done. Am I allowed to look into this? What is this person's ranking? In fact, did this client come in truth? What is their objective? What is their intention? Am I at risk for receiving karma? I understand that y'all want $1.15. I understand that. I also understand that in comparison to that dollar and the karma that you might receive, you may want to reconsider that. Because a lot of people are being targeted, wrongfully so. And so when you engage in it with the pretense that, well, it's nothing personal, this is business. Understand, business or not, payment is still going to be required in whatever capacity that it can be collected. Now, you could read in between those lines because I'm giving you enough credit as somebody who identifies with being a spiritual practitioner or a divination worker or a tarot reader. You can, let's put it this way, you should be able to read between the lines. When I say collection comes in whatever capacity that it's to be paid. Okay? Especially those of you who are in the shadows, claiming to be death mistresses, sending death spells to people. God gave life, he should have the right to take it away. Now that we made that clear. Those of you that are in the business of sending death spells to people, some of you go as far as targeting children. And that's just disgusting. Like the children have nothing to do with it. You understand? So someone like you who believes you're protected may want to read illusion in a dictionary. Protection is offered to where it's merited. There are a lot of you that are brainwashing those that are followers. And I say it this way is because people are either born leaders or followers. It is what it is. No matter if you're happy about what I'm saying or if you're in opposition with what I'm saying, the fact still remains. There are born leaders. The followers are the ones that are very gullible, are the ones that can be led astray, are the ones that need to conform, need your validation, need your friendship, and confused without orders. Okay? Facts are facts. Now, those that are leaders need to be more choosy, I'll say. When offering certain services. It is the ethical thing to do. Whether you accept payment or refuse payment, it is an ethical thing to do to explain what could happen if this backfires. Okay? Because sometimes, clearly, it backfires. Okay? And sometimes the one that is being targeted is the one that's trying to tell you this is going to backfire. I'm trying to tell you. It's going to be a life for a life. I'm trying to tell you. As a matter of fact, I don't engage in that type of sorcery. I keep my hands clean. I don't do death spells, and I don't pay anyone to do death spells. I even don't pay anyone to do readings on you. I could care less. But be careful, because karma is real. You give them warning after warning, year after year. But because they're already possessed by whatever entity that's taken over, they figure, long as I pay this spiritual practitioner or this divination worker or this tarot leader, I'm in the lead. Disregarding that God always leads. That anything that goes down is with his permission. Because altogether, it works for his chosen. Okay. So those of you that sometimes feel like you gotta win because I was able to separate this couple. I was able to bring them to divorce. I was able to turn them against each other. What you don't realize or what you omit in dialogue with your customer is the fact that God allowed it. You know very well God allowed it. You know very well you don't have the last word. If we were to keep it real. I know a lot of us like to pretend, but if you were to keep it real, you know very well God allowed it. And I've heard that some of you already know that the finances that you're receiving is not going to be put to work because you're basically not going to risk yourself and receive the wrath of God. You understand? Now, whoever wants to believe that you're going to do what you're going to do, they could do that. You understand? And then they just get their rude awakenings when they get it. What they going to do? Fight with you? Nah. They won't dare fight with you. They won't dare fight with you because they know what you could do. Mainly because they're not protected. Mainly because they're wicked in nature. Mainly because they know they are in the wrong. So how are you going to ask for protection now when you was in the wrong? How are you going to be asking justice against a spiritual practitioner or a divination worker or a tarot reader when you know you were being led by jealousy, greed, hatred, low self-esteem, bitterness? How are you then going to ask for justice against a spiritual practitioner? I just want to know. Like, I remember watching a documentary one time, and there was a spiritual practitioner. I believe she resides in Russia, and she was being interviewed, and she was asked the question, how do you receive payment? What do you do? And what do you do to make sure you receive payments? Are there ever situations where they don't pay you? And she's like, nah, actually, they don't even have to pay me. In fact, they could get at me when they want to get at me. And I remember the interviewer looking at her like, what? And she's like, do you know who I am? Do you know that the politicians are afraid to speak my name? I guarantee you, no one ever owes me money. I laughed. I laughed because I do believe that some people are more afraid of a spiritual practitioner than they are of God himself. I'm just keeping it real. And some of these people are in the choir. Okay. Some of them are in the pulpit. Okay. Some of them are giving you prophecy. Okay. But they got secrets. Secrets that they want to keep hidden. And this is one of the reasons why, as we wake up as a collective and start seeing things really for what they are, start recognizing that we are just being controlled and this is mind manipulation, and we need to stop denying and running away from knowledge. In fact, we need to embrace knowledge and utilize it to empower us, to take us out of these generational curses that have been bombarding our bloodlines for an eternity. It's time to make a change. Confirmation. It's time to upgrade. It's time to reject those curses that were put on our ancestors. But there are those in certain institutions that want to tell you, no, you need to keep doing things the same way we was doing it. Don't change. If you change, it's demonic. If you look for the truth, you're going to get lost. That's what they want to feed you. Okay? Mind you, if I were to go into detail and self-disclose about my life, as much as it was preached against to, oh my goodness, don't ever talk to a seer. Don't ever look into a card. Don't ever, try to uncover anything that basically you don't see. You have to catch them red-handed. If you don't catch them red-handed, don't believe it. Those are lies of the devil. This is what they say, right? Do you know sometimes looking into things will save your life? Child. I'm not here to convince y'all. Okay? I will never, ever be one to tell you, you need to go connect to people. You need to look into your lives. You need to, nah. I'm not here for that. Not at all. Actually, I'm here to open your eyes to different methods that are used today. Okay? You, in turn, follow your intuition. Consult the God of your understanding. Decide for yourself. It is not my job, and I am not given authority to live your life for you, or to determine what type of spiritual walk that you take. That's not my business. You see, the problem today is a lot of people don't recognize what their business is. And this is how they get caught up. This is how they fall on their face. This is how their businesses get run down. Because their focuses are on the wrong things instead of considering making things more agreeable. To those that they service, or raising their services in higher vibration, what they do is they want to cut each other down. See that one over there? Don't trust her. She's not a good person. In fact, she did this. She did this. She did this. Did you know she did this too? Meanwhile, it's all lies. Meanwhile, the all-seeing, you see, we can't forget about the all-seeing. The all-seeing sees everything from beginning and already knows the end. Just because you took a few steps forward doesn't mean you reached the destination. You just took a few steps forward. And when it is time to have you fall back, that's a done deal. And this is why everyone should be held accountable. Those that engage with the public to bring clarification, healing, guidance, whatever your forte is, and those that ask for services. If you are connecting with someone for services and you falsify your identity, state that you're so-and-so, or else you falsify your identity and make some type of contract. Child, they go as far as blood contract for sacrifice and so forth. And then it backfires and you have the audacity. You have the audacity to speak on the person that gave you your services, or the fact that they should have went into detail with you, that they understand everyone involved in the scenario plays a part in it being backfired. Part of growth is being able to see yourself for yourself. It's time to remove those rose-colored glasses that, oh, you're not in the wrong. I paid for it. I paid for it doesn't mean it's right. In fact, you thinking you are in the right doesn't mean it's right. In fact, you are being reminded that God is in control. You are limited in power. Collectively, we are waking up to the fact that we hold more power than we thought, right? But there are a few that are in illusion that they carry more power than they have. You know, we have people walking in these streets believing they're God. In fact, I was threatened on social media with some type of foolery in a DM, right? But sometimes when I recognize the foolery, I have the tendency to go to the person's page and see what type of clown this is and what is the root of this? What is this really about? Because I don't even connect with your type. Okay. And I recall going back and checking out the person's page, and on the page, I just saw gun after gun after gun after gun. And then on the bio, it says something about there is no one higher than me, or some kind of foolery like that. And I'm thinking to myself, now you don't have to tell me you a drug addict. Like, for real. Like, that's not even necessary. For you to go there and put it on your biography that there is no one, no one, people, no one that could be on top of you. Because you are that. Now, if someone then would determine that you're a drug addict, that you're mentally ill, that you possess, child, can I be honest with you? They don't even need cards for that. It's a given. Sometimes y'all make it so damn easy. And this is why a few people with good hearts are trying to open the eyes of those that are still gullible, still being taken for a ride. Okay? Those that people whisper when they step away, you know, he kind of slow. You know, he gonna believe whatever you tell him. You know? This will be easy. These are the conversations they have when you're not around. It's a rude awakening, ain't it? But it's time to be awakened. It's time to understand that even when you go get a tarot read, that somebody can be like, pulling out cards for you. Mind you, whoever referred you to the person could have kept themselves in someone else's energy to make them appear to be a certain way or have a certain lifestyle or be honest, be truthful, be successful. Mind you, they are caping themselves in someone else's energy. They do this through energy harvesting. This is things that I've uncovered throughout the years, through people's experiences, through being abused, through overcoming, through healing once I disconnected myself from these energy vampires. For example, there are men who today are crying. And I'm going to tell you why. They are crying because someone who thought they were smarter than them wanted to give them a payback. Do you understand? And this is why we don't turn back. You understand? Once you break up with someone and you've decided, okay, this is not going to work for whatever reason, it don't work. Guess what? It don't work. But some men are gullible. And the women know that. Y'all think you in control, but the women know who's really in control. You see? Because there are spots that you are weak in that they got covered. You see? So I found it was very humorous to discover that there are still men taking relationship advice from a baby mama. Yo, it didn't work out with y'all, right? She didn't win, right? What makes you think she wants you to win? Think about it. What makes you think she wants you to be happy? Think about it. What makes you think she wants you to make someone happier than you made her? Think about it. I know some of y'all don't think, but you should consider thinking about it. Now, there are some rare occasions that the person that you walked away from that is raising your child can give you some type of rational advice. You know when this is most likely? When they've moved on. Okay. They have a satisfying relationship. I didn't say any relationship now. I didn't even say marriage. Because some marriages are discontent. Can I be a witness? That's why I be divorced. Okay? I said some marriages can be very unhappy. So just because the person is married or the person has a relationship, that doesn't mean anything. You know when it means something? When the person is happy. You know when the person is happy. You feel that energy. You see that smile. In fact, you see your children smiling. You see success all over the place. In fact, sometimes you think to yourself, man, I think I let a good one go. Yeah, those moments do happen. When they happen, they come back. When they do come back, you already moved on. All this to say, a lot of you have too much confidence in the dark arts. You put down rationality. You put down common sense. You put down wisdom and you just depend on the dark arts thinking it's going to solve all your problems. And I'm going to keep telling you, you're going to keep falling on your faces. Because it's time you make better choices. Because it's time for you to accept the fact that we are living in a new day. In fact, we are being mandated to break those generational curses. I say mandated because those of you who continue to push away what is in your face to help you to evolve will be the ones who will continue suffering in silence. Yeah, you could pretend on the street and say it's all good. In fact, it's very happy in my home. Everything is all right. My bills are paid. It's all together. And deep inside, you're screaming. Some of you are considering suicide. Some of you are trying to run away from reality so much that you can't leave the drugs alone. You don't have time to drink water. You're drinking alcohol. How about those of you that are cutting? I've seen that too. And you know who else sees it? The all-seeing. He sees it too. But everyone has choices. You can continue at your choice in direction. You know why? Because even in these programs where I worked with those who had addiction, they always say you cannot get recovery until you fall down to your lowest low. And this is why enablers need to step back. Because if you continue picking up the pieces and, encouraging it, that's not a language they understand. I'm just trying to be frank with y'all. It's not. Okay? Sometimes someone will not get up until they are in the thick of the mud. The mud in stench. Having a reflection of themselves. And seeing the filth that they covered themselves with. That's when some of them humble themselves. It begins with, there is a God. It continues with, God is in control. In prayer, God, what is the next right step? It does not matter what your addiction was, what your fault was, what your vice was, your crime. It works with the path that you are to choose. There will be an impasse where you realize this ain't taking me nowhere. In fact, I'm not benefiting from this. In fact, I don't want to do this. Confirmation. Why did I do this? I'm better than this. It doesn't matter what you call yourself, what you believe you are, none of that matters. I said none of it matters. It doesn't matter how many of you and how many times have you told people that you control everything and you are on top of this world. God can humble you too. And this is why certain people are getting publicly unmasked. Because too much ego was leading people to darkness. Was taking you farther away from God than you originally were. And what's ironic about this is you were seeking power. Power is from God and only God. Any other source that gives you power, it's an illusion, people. I don't know. And I'm not even going to waste my time in trying to convince you, because this is something you could learn on your own. Just stay on whatever path you at, and you'll see where you at. I could promise you that one. You will see where you at. And those of you that want to know what time, what place, how, where, what, it's called divine timing, okay? That's all I need to say. Yes, God wants you to be empowered. Yes, He wants you to receive knowledge. Yes, the ancestors want a relationship. But you must do it in a manner that upgrades you. Not in a manner that degrades you. Because when you do it in a way that degrades you, you downgrade. Some of you belong to certain orders that are telling you you need to sleep with every person you meet to gain power. This is what was revealed to me. Some of you fell so deep because you was practicing sex magic. You didn't care if it was a human. You didn't care if it was a dog. You didn't care. Oh, I've seen the visions. Child, I've seen the visions. Confirmation. Who knew horses? Child. Yo. Some horses like dogs. Y'all know that? I'm just saying though. We seeing everything over here. But anyway. Confirmation. You see, sometimes we need that confirmation, people. Yo. But as I was saying, y'all need to stop letting people play with y'all and making you do things that are very perverted, things that you know better. You can't even blame nobody because you knew better. But then you sat down in front of somebody who told you, if you want to be like me, if you want to be successful like me, if you want to do this like me, you have to do that. Mind you, they are caping themselves with someone else's energy. In fact, they are so desperate. They go as far as pushing their quote unquote man in the direction of those with that God energy, right? Go live with her. In fact, have sex with her. In fact, right after you do that, have sex with me. Yeah. And they build on that. Y'all better wake up, people. And this is why you should not be having sex with just anybody. Because a lot of them are using you not only for, people used to be like, oh, they just want your flesh. Child, it's more to it than that. They want your soul, people. That sacral energy that provides fertility is what they use for manifestation, people. Not everyone should be given access. Those of you that never took the time to say no. In fact, you never wrote it down even on a piece of paper. You never done nothing with that word. Your entire life was yes, yes, and some more yes. It's time for you to say, hell no. It's time for you to say, I'm too good for you. You don't deserve me. In fact, you are below me. Oh, yes. I said it's time. Divine feminine, it is time. A lot of these people you have holding your hands are poor excuses. Not men, but poor excuses. And the message today is that God has someone worthy of you. And that's why there's nobody else to blame but you. Because God will not bring this person into your life until you release people, places, and things that are not in alignment with your highest good. Now, let me give some clarification. God is love. In fact, He wants you to love. In fact, He wants you to partner. In fact, He believes in balance. Balance is the fruit of the universe. But in this moment of resetting society, in this moment of breaking generational curses, in this moment of giving our bloodlines a chance, discipline is mandatory. Those who don't align will get left behind. Alignment does not mean surrendering and allowing someone to tell you what to do, when to do, how to do it. Not at all. In fact, alignment is opening up to progress. Not just any progress, but high vibrational progress. As you open up to high vibrational progress, you will then begin to attract high vibrational manifestation. What's yours? What was always yours? And what's always going to be yours. It can't be taken away. But it requires your discipline. It requires with saying no. No to exes, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a friendship, whether it was a place of employment that got you sidetracked, interfered with your morals, with your values, with your ethics. You know those persons, places, or things. These answers are already inside of you. Stop complaining. Stop comparing. Stop coveting. You have the power to co-create your life. And this is why those of you that continue to steal, kill, and destroy will be unmasked and will have to pay the hefty price called karma. Because you have a choice. Because you are being given guidance. Because you chose your path. Why is it someone could give you a bright and shiny apple, right? And someone else can give you a muddy apple that fell on the floor. And some of you will pick up that muddy apple from the floor because somebody said, hey, that'll give you power. Make that make sense. Now I want you to help me make that make sense. There's something being offered to you. That is transparent. Confirmation. That is open to everyone that is willing to grow and heal and transform. But still some of you, well, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-great-grandmother did it this way. Okay? They used graveyard dirt. They used the blood of a pig. They slept with that voodoo priest. I must honor them. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one they say. I must honor them. Let me tell y'all something. Because some of y'all need a little more help. You see them ancestors that you're talking about that you must honor and whatnot. I know I've made a mention it before that there are high vibrational ancestors and low vibrational ancestors. Okay? And with that knowledge, you need to acknowledge both. You actually need to acknowledge their circumstances and why they had to do the things they had to do to survive the ways they had to survive. Okay? Number 2, your ancestors do not want you to remain in a state that does not reflect progress. In fact, they want you to upgrade. In fact, they want every generation to do better than the last generation. In fact, when you upgrade, when you do better, when you heal, it heals them too. Now you might say, how? They not here no more. She don't know what she talking about. Okay, sit down. I said sit down. There are things you're not ready for. I'm going to start with that. But I could start with the beginning of what you can process, which is the fact that part of them lives in you. I said part of them lives in you. Their DNA is in you. As you heal, they still heal. There are certain traumas you've experienced. Those females that have been raped, for example. There's a great, even farther upgrade that may have been raped as well. In fact, when you go to counseling, when you do sacral healing, when you embrace empowerment and respect your sexual energy, confirmation. When you are selective in who you engage with, when there are boundaries to be met, when there is commitment that must be made, when you value yourself, you heal your DNA strand. You break that generational curse. In fact, you speak to your child and your grandchild in ways to protect themselves, ways that they should not endanger themselves, ways to be selective in what connections they have. You prepare them. You enlighten them. You love them. Stop allowing these divinational workers or spiritual workers or tarot readers, whatever they call themselves. Stop allowing them to push you into darkness to believe this is how to connect with your ancestors. Oh, this is what they did. Because God still gave you a brain. Because you still have a conscience. Because you still know what's wrong and you still know what's wrong. Because you still can bring more karma to your bloodline. You see? Imagine that. Your ancestors are with you. In fact, you share the same DNA. And to show your respect, you continue to engage in low vibrational things that weaken them in rank. Y'all need to wake up, people. It doesn't matter how many ceremonies did you do, how much twerking you do, how many drum beats you do. There's something called rank. It's not obtained by how much money you got to give to a practitioner. It's accommodated with discipline and self-sacrifice. Notice I said self-sacrifice. I didn't say go sacrifice your wife, okay? I didn't say go sacrifice your unborn child, okay? Because some of y'all got this twisted. And this is why you stuck and you ain't getting nowhere. I keep telling y'all, it's a choice. That same energy you're utilizing to hate on people, you should be utilizing to check yourself. That same energy you're using for propaganda and for gossip, you should be using to read your own self. That same energy and them same coins you're using to look into people's personal lives, their Akashic records, their fortune, what they're doing, what they wore today. Child, that's desperate and pathetic. But all that energy should be utilized in your life, your progress, your development, your finances, your opportunities, your upgrades, your learning to do better. It's those entities that you pray to, that you attach to, that you offer water and food to, that are keeping you mentally ill, that are keeping you in the mud, that are keeping you in the stench. Meanwhile, they tell you, hey, just put some perfume on you and wear your white clothes and go to church Sunday and you forgiven. Yo, you being forgiven for how many generations? Exactly. Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me where the progress is at with that forgiveness? Can somebody tell me that? I want to know. Inquiring minds just want to know. You see that pause? That's what y'all need to do more of. Because it's time to make sense of things. It's time to adult. It's time to think for yourself. It's time to understand that you can decipher what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. You can experience what's working and what's not working. You can desire that your child does better than your great, I'm tired of saying great grandparents did. It's a choice. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying it. I don't know if you need to drill it in your head. I don't know exactly what y'all gonna do. Okay? But it's time to get your priorities in order. Clearly it is. Because that's the problem here. Your priorities are not in order. In fact, some people who gang stalk, who, have no life, but invading people's privacy, personal affairs, whatever you call it. The reason why they stuck today, is because they forgot who they was yesterday. When you make somebody your focus to the point where you eat thinking and talking about them, drink thinking and talking about them, breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you cough, you think about them. If you sneeze, you think about them. If you have a headache, you will lose your identity too. You see how karma works? All this time you was trying to be somebody else. Sometimes it takes me a minute to say it because it's like, ooh, that's pathetic. It's pathetic, people. It's a new low. It's a new low. Okay? Yes, a new low. For you to try to be someone else. To the point where you forgot your name. You forgot your dreams. You forgot your likes, your dislikes. You forgot your strengths. You forgot your confidence. You even forgot your self-love. Tell me that's not karma. Can you tell me that's not karma? Can one of you prove that's not karma? Be careful with that trickster spirit, people. It might trick you into insanity, people. It might trick you into the profession of being a trick, people. It might trick you in believing that you could be a pimp, then be a good member of society. Marry any rank. Fit in. And receive favor and coverage after being a pimp. That's that trickster spirit, people. God is not and never will combine those that are unequally yoked. And the reason why that you are even witnessing in live time the interference of your ancestors when it comes with foundation in a relationship is because they know when you connect, when you commit, to a karmic bloodline or a low vibrational bloodline or a curse bloodline, because they exist too. I said they exist too. There are curse bloodline. In fact, there are members that are in politics. And it is common knowledge that even certain families in politics have cursed bloodlines. You witness it in their lifespan, in the way they die. There are more details, but we'll stay focused. Consider and be selective in who you allow in your circles, in whatever department, whether it is friendship, romantic life, business association, whatever it is, because they all influence, because they all give off and transfer energy to you. This is not to cause you or to call you to be over judgmental. This is to prepare you for what is to come. If you think times are hard now, you're going to learn what hard times are when desperate is amplified. There are certain things that we will experience as mankind, that if we are not prepared for what's to come, we won't survive. Okay? This is why you are being encouraged to build yourselves spiritually. Yes, you need to work on yourselves physically. You need to put more effort in your nutritional intake, in your finances, your love connections. But understand, spirituality affects all of these areas. There are those of you that are under spell work right now as I'm speaking, that are not even aware, that may never find out. Some of you won't find out till 4 years later, some 10 years later. In fact, I know someone found out 18 years later. He married his wife, who got spell work done. They were married for 18 years. And one day, there was a bottle that he dropped to the ground while cleaning. the room. The bottle broke. Immediately, the spell broke. Now, I'm not going to even go into details to explain what kind of drama happened after that. Okay? They had a very large family in number. But I want to tell you that same day is the day he moved out. Now, all of this would have been avoided if mind manipulation wasn't a factor. And what you will be witnessing is a lot of people who was using mind manipulation for years and building off of it, whether it was relationship or business, child, even some people that are clergymen are using it. I'm just being honest. Okay, I know some of y'all not gonna like what I have to say, but I must speak the truth. Because when these people wake up, it doesn't matter how much good you did after you did your bad. Because they will disregard anything you thought you did was good. And they will walk away. That gamble could be very hefty for you to pay. Now, everyone has choices. Because if you utilize that same energy in building yourself, in fact, in co-creating who you want to attract, you would attract it. But because you like the mud, you like to drink blood, right? You like the graveyard dirt. So you choose that walk. And when you get your results, you remain discontent. Yet, you continue doing the same thing over and over and over. I'm tired of saying over and expecting a different result. Some say that's insanity. But you busy calling someone else crazy. Ain't that right? I said, ain't that right? You don't understand. Why is it their manifestations look like this and they're achieving this and they're doing it in this? Like it is happening, so quickly for them, and it is just too fast, and I can't keep up, and I just don't understand, and it's not fair, and you're doing something from generations ago that kept manifesting cursed generations ago. Yet, you're expecting a different result. Is that right? Now, I'm not even going to tell you to check yourself. I'm going to allow you to discern for yourself if you need to check yourself. See, sometimes Sometimes you need to practice discernment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to stay in their place. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I mind my business. While I mind my business, I take care of my business. And that's something you may want to consider. Ask God for discernment. That's what y'all need to do. Instead of asking, what kind of spell work? What kind of money? What kind of do I need to do? Do I need to give you for you to achieve this death spell? Because she is enlightening others. She is telling the truth. She is exposing the lies. This can't go on. Ain't that right? It's time y'all unmask. Ain't that right? Y'all love your people, right? But you loved even better to keep them in darkness. Y'all love them so much that you cursing them. You sending spell work on them so they can come back to you. So you can claim you can heal what they going through. Meanwhile, you the one doing it. Hey, shh. Shh. This is something they can't know. Shh. But God knows, people. And He is relaying everything in secret to His messengers all over. Because this is a season for exposure. Okay? Because a lot of y'all put too much faith and actually give your lives in someone else's hand and don't understand why it's upside down. Meanwhile, they the ones keeping you upside down. And this is why you need to ask God for discernment. Because some people are wearing masks. Some people are telling you lies. Some people don't want you to remain in a relationship because they are jealous of the relationship. Some people don't want you in a relationship because you will benefit financially and they don't want you to be above them. You could stay where you at. But I don't want you above me. Some people need you to have or believe that you're being spiritually attacked in order for you to come to them and ask for assistance. Because they got to get their nails done. I said they got to get their nails done. And you, intelligent as you are, God help you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And this is one of the reasons I thank God. I'm going to say this publicly, y'all. I thank God where I don't have to ask nobody nothing. When it comes to my destiny, when it comes to where I'm at, when it comes to who's doing to who, because I'm going to get to the root of it. Okay? And this happened because I decided to put my trust in him. This happened because I began to rely on my intuition. This happened because I protect myself. Not just physically, but spiritually. Because I understand there are people that are against me that want to interfere with messages that God wants me to receive. And this is why I need to pray to cancel out everything that's being sent to bring confusion. That back to sender works every time. There is no need for me to go and engage in anything low vibrational and put a curse on you, put a hex on you, put this, because you know what? I said, you know what? It's a universal law. Everything you put out, you attract. So if I go out here and I do a death spell on so-and-so because she stole someone that she thought I was going to be crying about, I'm just making it worse for myself. I'm actually attracting more chaos, or what is the word besides chaos? The trauma she wanted to induce. If it wasn't even successful with her efforts, since I benefited from it, I'm going to help her out now if I target her and send something out to her. In fact, that's really when I would be experiencing some type of trauma. Because once you create that energy, it's already out here, and somebody's going to receive it. So that death spell business, understand, it really ain't worth it. I'm just telling you the truth. It really ain't worth it. Shoot. I know some people who sent it to me really regret it. In fact, I see the visions of tears, crying, slapping themselves, cutting themselves. Damn. That's how life is, I guess, when you attract an angel of death that now hovers over you. Because your sense in direction was not God's sense in direction. You understand? It has to be aligned with God's sense in direction. If God can't use that attack to bring his child closer to him, because sometimes that attack gets your attention. Sometimes that attack makes you communicate to God. Sometimes that attack causes you to redirect your life. And so that's when you given a pass. That pass, that's an illusion that you want. But in fact, it all worked together for those that he calls his own. What power y'all got? No, for real though. What power do you think you have? Because unless God co-writes it or co-signs it or approves it, it ain't going through. You could lie to each other if y'all want to, but it ain't going through. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter how many covens you put together. It doesn't matter how many, if this is international, if this is viral, none of that matters. I said none of it matters. In fact, only God matters. The rest of y'all are insignificant in his presence, including myself. He has the last say. It is what it is. Now y'all keep talking about, oh, they oppressed us. They kept us in illusion. And some of these illusions you keep on yourselves. Let's keep that real for a minute. Okay? Some illusions are self-purchased. Okay? Now for today's spread, it's not going to take long for me to just share what I was given prior to do this channeling. The first card was accelerated motion. This is when you see someone moving fast and you don't understand how this person is moving fast. I blocked this person. I blocked them financially. I blocked their love life. I blocked this. I blocked that. I blocked abundance. Yet, God wrote their destiny in the stars. And you're realizing you blocked yourself. That wasn't his will for her. In fact, she has a calling over her life. It is quite evident that she is in her calling. So why exactly am I going to grant you your request? Make it make sense. Next card is power. How about that power? How about that spirit man? They see you and they think they know you and they have no clue. How about being hidden? In sight. That's why they say don't judge a book by its cover. Because that being hidden in plain sight ain't no joke. Because when God steps in, that blindness be real. Okay? That light can't be hidden. That fire burns the right ones. See? Those who touch get burned. Next card is comfort. 9 of Pentacles. See, when you are aligned with your highest good, living in your soul's purpose, seeking God's validation and His alone, all your other needs are taken care of. Without a witch doctor, a voodoo priest, or whatever, you've arrived to that 9 of Pentacles. Simply because you work for God. And that ranking is all it took for the perks. That's when you have them have several seats. Next card is 5 of Wands in reverse. Now that is a sigh of relief after a struggle. Because 5 of Wands are tests challenges, brainstorming for problems, confirmation, effort needed for change. But when it's in reverse, it's a sigh of relief after struggle, in alignment with Knight of Pentacles, which is comfort. Relief goes hand in hand with comfort. That comfort was given because of power. Because trust and believe. Every spell work they can conceive was put into works. But they couldn't succeed because they were on their low vibrational tip. Because they were not in alignment with the highest good of all. I know that's foreign to some of y'all. Because a lot of y'all calling people selfish invented the word. You calling people selfish because they set boundaries. You calling people selfish because they don't let people play in their face. You calling people selfish because they refuse to let you take advantage of them. Meanwhile, you are a bully. You are a thief. You are a con artist. You are a demon in disguise. And it's been proven on the international platform, you have no power. And your downfall is in accelerated motion. That part. Next card is King of Pentacles. Generosity. Security. Protection. Abundance. See, that comes after a sigh of relief, after struggle. Because that King of Pentacles puts wisdom into application. Does not allow addiction to be his guide. Sets boundaries with beggars. Builds a foundation adequate enough to maintain security. to benefit, protection. All types of protection. Confirmation. You see, that spiritual warfare, it requires all types of protection. On all realms, those with ears hear. I said those with ears hear. Let me catch your attention. Those with ears hear. Okay. You need protection in all realms, all dimensions, past, present, future. In fact, you need protection in the dreamscape. Yeah, don't forget the astral realm. That part. See, this is the type of information that is hush hush, you know, because we want to keep a certain part, a certain percentage of the society weak. And then we want those who are in the know, even if they are low vibrational, on top. But new day requires new change. And this is why all of you need to learn how to pray. It ain't just about thank you for this food. It ain't just about now I lay my head down. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better start praying over your kids. In fact, y'all better be training your kids for that spiritual warfare. I would hate for you to have to learn the hard way. The streets ain't no joke. But that spiritual warfare, y'all ain't even ready. And this is why it is so surprising how some people make it. Because they like, well, I killed this one, that one too. In fact, I killed 2 of them with 1 stone. But there are those that God has a plan for. Those are the ones that put you to shame. Those are the ones that give you an ego death. Those are the ones you wish you could be. Those ones. Know anybody? Oh, God. Next card is phobia. Let me tell you what phobia be about. Phobia is usually developed after some type of trauma, right? So those of you that have conducted death spells and hired hitmen and sacrificed, and you know your resume. What you just did was co-create a phobia for your energy. Remember what I told you about creating your own hell on earth? The fact that you are now unmasked. People know who you are, what you're capable of, how ruthless you are, and that you can be a Judas to anybody, even the hand that feeds you. In fact, someone that never harmed you, guess what? That phobia is rampant. Ain't nobody wants you in their energy no more. See that hell on earth? That part that went over your head? What's she talking about, hell on earth? Y'all about to learn. I said y'all about to learn. Because there are some phone calls you make that will go straight to voicemail. In fact, there are some phone calls you make that will respond in, this number is no longer in service. In fact, there are some addresses you surprise visit to and see a for sale. There are many ways to disconnect. There are many ways to never connect on all realms, all dimensions, past, present, and future. Ain't nobody got time for that no more. Once you recognize crap for what it is, it's time to dispose of it. Because if that stays in your energy, it will energetically affect all areas in your life. You will begin to ask, am I cursed? Why is it that nothing can go right in my life? What did I do wrong? Why do I deserve this? When all you did is open a window. Be careful. I said be careful. Angels. Next card. It's not a figment of your imagination. Those of you that are questioning, Is that really the presence of an angel? Is that their way of communicating with me? Do I have a guardian? Yes, there are angels. Yes, they offer protection. Yes, you have to be in alignment with your highest good. Now, I don't give half truths. All that being said, there are angels of the light and angels of the dark. The fallen angels. Now, your vibration attracts who you flying with. If you are of the light, higher to the frequency of God, I feel their presence. And it's 7-Eleven. Let me tell you what 7-Eleven means. The universe is behind your endeavors and adventures. The power of oneness is entering your heart and helping you to bring radical changes to your life. Please believe there are angels. Confirmation. Those who know, know. I'm not here to campaign for them. I don't need to campaign for them. I don't need to campaign for them. Shoo. If they want you to recognize their presence, I bet you they can make a believer out of you too. Moving on. Trees. Related to roots. Your roots are your ancestors. Hopefully your connections are with the higher vibrational ancestors. Angels are part of your spiritual support team. Different people refer to them as different ways. I've heard people say, angels of the highest light. Others say, guardian angels. Others have a special bond they make with one angel in particular. See, everyone has their own path. And that's in relation to your journey. And I'll just leave it there. Just know I'm highly favored, protected, guided, loved, encouraged, and I'm never alone. I ain't even gonna front with y'all. A lot of my courage comes from who I know I'm flying with, so to speak. So it is what it is. It requires a certain frequency. It requires a calling, a mission, a graduation. Overcoming challenges, tests. Oh, it comes with a cost. You might be asked to release all people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with your highest good. And your highest good could be your soul's purpose, whatever it is. We need to refocus. It's not about who's cool. It's not about fitting in. It's about waking up to the fact that you're here for a reason. And it ain't nothing to do with bling bling. It ain't nothing to do with money. It ain't nothing to do where you live. It ain't nothing to do with none of that. Maybe you should ask God to remember. Help you to remember. Help you to remember what would help you today. Next card is Daughter Value. We all carry a certain value. I said we all, no exceptions, carry a certain value. Confirmation. But your efforts influence your value. Funny enough, the following card is the root chakra. When you're willing to do what it takes and exercise your faith, rely on divine timing, and stay close to those who love you and protect you, you remain in the highest form of security. In fact, there's time to pray. There's time to play. Yeah, I said play. I said play. One more time. Play. Even with the spiritual attacks. Even with the hatred. Even with the death spells. There's time to play. Because you are rooted in security. So it doesn't matter who wants to play. Dark vibration or even darker vibration. If God put you here to stay, just know you ain't going nowhere. Doesn't matter how much money they spend. It doesn't matter how many years they try. It doesn't matter how many times it worked before. None of that matters. They know it. They ain't gonna tell you, but they know it. Let me remind you, in life there are choices. Choose the ones that best suit you. The next one is children. Your love life is being affected by children. Let me tell you, for some parents, children definitely influence their decision making. A child can influence who you choose in a partner. Especially when it comes to protecting your child. Confirmation. Some partners endanger your child. In more than one way. And exposing your child to danger will just curse you. You are called to be their security until they can secure themselves. If you know someone has a reputation with abuse, they shouldn't be around your child. I said they should not be around your child. That is not exempt. Well, this person has a reputation with abuse, but that person's not a pedophile. Let me tell you something. It don't matter if the person was accused of being a pedophile or accused of beating up grown women, or accused of taking drugs, or accused of refusing to take no as an answer, any type of abuse is enough abuse to protect your children from abuse. Do you understand? I said, do you understand? Because if anything happens to that child, you will be held responsible in man-made court and spiritual court. This is also those of you that are aware of witchcraft, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever you do, being done on someone of innocence. Now, this could be spiritual. This could be metaphysical. There are many ways of this being relevant when it comes to abuse. Sometimes innocence is regarded with age. Sometimes innocence is regarded with experience, with maturity. So, when you are witnessing spell work being done on someone that does not engage in anything regarding anything that isn't biblically taught, and they come to you and they ask you, who do you know that's doing spell work on me? And you deny it. Meanwhile, you are aware of it. Shoot. You are participating in it. In fact, you are funding it. I love the confirmations. Shoot. You requested it. You cannot be trusted. One offense is all it took. Never mind the repeated offenses. One offense, confirmation. One offense is all it should take. Those of you men that married women in church, and you realize your baby mama or Maury Povich mama is doing spell work on the person that you did vows with. and you leave them in the dark, there will be judgment. I'm just trying to tell you for a friend. Prepare yourselves for that judgment. One of the reasons why it was never okay for you to be married to someone and allow others to psychically abuse them, in fact, join in. When you marry, it should be a team. You should be working together, not against each other. In fact, you should not be competing. In fact, you should look into your sexuality. Let us be frank. If you, a male, are competing with your wife, a woman, look into your sexuality. I said, look into your sexuality. Your job is to strengthen her. You see, when you don't look into your sexuality, it catches up with you. The patterns are recognizable. Your energetic signature is all over it. There is no way to deny it. It's common knowledge. Confirmation. Guess what? The next card is separation. And the separation card is in reverse. The separation card says time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Guess what? Like I said, it's upside down. You know what that's telling me? Children. Your love life is being affected by children, right? That was prior to separation in reverse, right? Now you see separation upside down. That's telling me, even after that child or those children, there's somebody out there that regrets the separation. That wants to reverse the separation. Even with the child, that represents the trophy. That person wants the separation reversed. Next card is calling. In the background, you see an ancestor. Holding a conch shell. They have a way to communicate. They wish the separation could be reversed too. In fact, the next card is foundation. What's interesting about this foundation card is the raindrops, tears, lots and lots and lots of shedded tears. That foundation is not a sturdy foundation. Next card is guilt. Confirmation. Notice the cue? Guilt. There's a woman in the background that's reviewing everything that went down, all the lies that were told. And then there's another woman up front doing her chores. And chained by her risk. You see, the woman in the back is guilty of abusing the woman that was doing nothing but minding her business, taking care of her family, fulfilling her roles. And trusting God. And the woman in the back, she was busy working in the fog. In fact, she was surrounded by so much darkness, she desired company. So she co-created a story that she thought would bring her victory. But the woman in the light got help from the light. Exposure. Brought clarity. And that is why you should always utilize your freedom of expression. if you are being bullied, if you are being abused, victimized, whether it is organized crime or a spouse that's committing domestic violence, stealing from one household and bringing it to another household is classified as domestic violence. Confirmation. Lying about having one family and committed to another family is domestic violence. Endangering someone, mind, body, and soul for your gain is considered domestic violence. No. Children are not safe around you. The next card is security, because in fact it was insecurity, but it's upside down. It's in reverse. So that means security. So detaching from what no longer was in alignment with your highest good is what brings you the security. Right? You will not achieve or reach security until you detach. Unapologetically detached. And I will say that because there will be those who try to convince you why you shouldn't detach. In fact, why you should give this a try. In fact, the person is changed, in my opinion. He's not doing what he used to do. He's trying. Nobody's perfect. He's no longer with her. He loves you. He doesn't want this separation. Mind you, God told you to walk away. In fact, your spiritual support team disapproves. Okay? You were being ridiculed. Okay? Someone that loves you has to be able to love himself. And the fact that you don't have discernment, you don't have wisdom, you are led by the lost, you are connected to demons. Self-love doesn't live there. And if someone does not have self-love, they can't love you. And this is why I'm being reminded. Be careful with the Mickey Mouse readers that tell you he loves you. Yeah, he cheated on you. Yeah, he had a baby on you. Yeah, he had an STD. Yeah, he's down low. But he loves you. He's broke. He wants your money. But he loves you. Confirmation. Yeah. Those are the Mickey Mouse readers. Those are the ones that will tell you whatever fairy tale you want to hear so you could keep coming back and they could keep getting views. Okay. Somebody had to tell you. Because I don't see myself telling someone he loves you when he's toxic. Because if you're toxic, you don't love yourself. Bingo. You can't love if you don't love yourself. Was that $1 million question? Or is that just common sense? I'm going to say it again for those of you that are slow in learning. I said, if someone is toxic, it's because they don't love themselves. If they don't love themselves, they can't love you. Let that marinate. I know y'all been in Mickey Mouse University for a couple of years. But it's time to upgrade. Because Mickey Mouse accreditation can lead you to gifts that keep on giving. Y'all got that part? Mickey Mouse accreditation can lead you to a down low husband. Okay? Mickey Mouse accreditation can lead you to taking care of him and his harem of hoes. Do you feel me? And this is why you need the gift of discernment. This is why you need to get the tattoo of stuck on stupid lasered off your foreheads. You understand? I said, do you understand? Because even if it was tattooed once on your forehead, you can get it lasered off. It's a choice. No, not all of your mothers taught you better. I understand that. In fact, I will work with that. If you say your mother did not teach you that, and she did not put you in the direction that you feel would have brought you farther along in life, would have nurtured you in a way to make less mistakes, would have heightened your self-esteem. I respect your views on that. But in the same respect, as an adult, you can reparent yourself. You can give your inner child what you did not have. You can educate yourself. If your mama was a drug addict, does not mean you have to be a drug addict. If she was a whore, does not mean you have to be a whore. If she settled for less, does not mean you have to settle for less. It's a choice. There are those who love to roll in the mud, right? In fact, they do it annually. And there are those who won't even walk barefoot in the mud, right? It depends what cloth you are rooted in. You cannot get the same acclamations with someone making the effort to upgrade, to transform, to make better choices, to lead the younger generations into becoming the stars that they were meant to be. When you refuse to transform and do the next right thing, you're not even being requested to miraculously change in a split of a second. Nah, you're just being asked to do the next right thing. You can start with, I respect myself. Was that hard? Did that hurt? Do you need me to repeat it? Some of y'all need to write that on a piece of paper and put it on your mirror. Okay? While you checking your butt implants or your breast implants, confirmation. I guess there's humor in the spirit world. Confirmation on every corner. Yeah, when you checking out the plumpness of your lips that you just got that injection in, you might want to check that piece of paper down. Might want to read that piece of paper that you have taped on that mirror. Y'all need more confirmation. I respect myself. In everything you do. This message is clearly approved. In everything you do, respect yourself. You see, when you look at people, right? Yeah, we come from different walks. We come from different cultures. We come from different educational backgrounds. We come from a lot of things, right? But what I'm recognizing is the people that get certain places in life is mainly because of an influence. Sometimes it's a parent. Sometimes it's a teacher. Sometimes it's a doctor. But there was someone of some influence that left some imprint. And nobody's perfect. That person that left that influence or left that imprint does not have to be perfect. But they said what they said and they meant what they said. In fact, you've seen it to be true. Again, no one's perfect. Especially in your teenage years. No one's perfect. And I recall growing up, and there's nothing more my dad ever told me, in all sincerity. There's nothing more that he ever told me repeatedly, whether it was completing an assignment at a certain time, table manners, learning etiquette, utilizing appropriate verbiage, who I connect with, whatever point he was trying to make, it always came back to this. Respect yourself. I must have heard that every day of my life. No kidding. And this is why ain't no way confirmation. Ain't no way I'm going to fall down being human as I am and I'm not going to get back up. Everyone falls down. Falling down is part of learning. But in getting up, you need to recall where you fell. And you need to not fall down over there again. If you're going to fall down, you better make it another spot. Because something wrong with you. And so if nothing is wrong with you, you don't fall down twice in the same spot. Respect yourself. Child, I did all I could do. I said all I could say. I meant it with all of my heart. that if you make that decision, you will never regret it. Now we have only 2 more cards that I will share today. The next one is 5 of Pentacles. That's interesting. Recovery. Oh yeah, 5 of Pentacles, but it's in reverse. It's in reverse. I'm saying it's interesting because I think I saw, earlier I saw a 9 of Pentacles and I saw 5 of Wands. That's what I saw. Yeah. This one is 5 of Pentacles and it's in reverse. Now, if it was upright, it would have meant isolation, insecurity, worry, financial loss, and so forth. But because it was reversed, it means recovery from financial loss or spiritual poverty. That goes in line with the card that preceded it, which was insecurity in reverse. Because that would lead to be security. If insecurity is in reverse, it's security. And security is in alignment with recovery. Okay? From financial loss and spiritual poverty and basically what I was channeling, which is you want to respect yourselves. Okay? As you respect yourself, you will gain recovery. Now, the last card for today is the King of Cups. That's in reverse. It says moodiness, emotional, and manipulation. I'm just going to say, respect yourself. If you find yourself in a state of moodiness, emotional, in the spirit of manipulation, you might want to respect yourself. Okay? Because there is no need in falling down in the same spot. On this channel, we don't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. Because ain't nobody insane over here. And to close, I want to share a quote by Audre Lorde. If I didn't define myself for myself, I would be crunched into other people's fantasies for me and be eaten alive. Peace.